Deep Dive, where emotions meet the stars and spirituality takes center stage. Join Sherianna Boyle and Carmen Schott as they explore astrology, mental health, manifesting, and so much more. Two women on a spiritual path, sharing wisdom, stories, and the magic of sisterhood. Ready to dive deep? Let's begin.
Ready to manifest your dreams? Carmen and Sherianna invite you to take a deep dive. Join this dynamic duo twice a month for guided manifesting practices and personalized astrological insights from Carmen. Don't miss this chance to align with the energy of the new moon. Visit sheriannaboyle.com/newmoonmanifesting to learn more and sign up today.
It is Sunday, April 20th, Easter Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive. I'm Sherianna.
And I'm Carmen Schott. And this is a show about astrology, emotions, and spirituality.
Yes, each week we're giving you your Carmen's giving you your astrological update on what's going on around the world and how that may impact your emotions, relationships, health, and more. And be sure you stay tuned for the second half of the show where we give you some tips and tools. Happy Easter, Carmen.
Happy Easter to you too. Yeah. The energy of new life and new experiences and rebirth. So I can kind of feel it this week. We have, most of this energy. I think, everybody's been doing Lent and, kind of sacrificing something. I know some people gave up Facebook, Amazon, drinking soda.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah. And they're not even Catholic. They just told me, I'm not Catholic, but, I do the Lent. I participate in, of sacrificing, giving something up for a short time. And so it was interesting because all the people that told me weren't even Catholic. I'm like, this is interesting.
Did you give anything up?
So, yeah, wine. Yeah,
I've been drinking
wine. Yeah, okay. I gave up wine and, because it is something that something you enjoy. You're supposed to give it something you enjoy, and it relaxes me. Just a little glass once in a while, of sweet. It's like really like grape juice, honestly, but
yeah.
but yeah. And the lady said she likes to shop. She said, so no Amazon for me for a month. So she gave up Amazon. Another friend of mine, she said she gave up sugar, like no sugar at all. And then she gave up, someone else gave up no TV, which I think would be hard sometimes, because, I like watching the news, and you get in your little routine, in the morning or at night and with having the news on or a show so that would be a little hard, but, but I think, it makes you feel good, when you do that, because it's like it's about appreciating the little things in life,
Absolutely. Yeah. And Easter is definitely for me just time with family, time to reconnect, get grounded, get rooted. What's happening astrologically this week for us?
Yeah, this next week, the 21st through the 27th, we're really preparing for, on the 22nd on Tuesday is Earth Day. So that's interesting. Earth Day. And then, because, it's all about Taurus energy right now, which I find interesting because Taurus is an earth sign. They are all about nature and plants, flowers, trees, having those strong roots. And so Earth Day falls during Taurus season, which is interesting. So a lot of good energy right now where we're feeling more practical, more ready to plan for our goals, thinking more about our finances and security and comfort and what we value. That's kind of the vibe right now during Taurus season. The moon is in Aquarius the first part of the week. And that's going to have us being a little bit intellectual and a little bit freedom loving, wanting
now for emotional detox people, that can be intellectual, can easily turn into overthinking.
Yeah. Aquarius tends to not feel their emotions. They tend to intellectualize them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've just noticed that, with people that I work with when they get intellectual, which is great, but then it slides right into overthinking.
Yeah, when you're disconnected, Aquariuses tend to be detached and more living in their mind because they're very intelligent. They're an air sign. So when the moon is in Aquarius, the moon changes signs every, 2 to 3 days. The moon is in Aquarius for a good 3 days this week. So with that Taurus sun and the moon in Aquarius, we could be feeling hard to really feel our emotions. We might be more um, worried about things. Earth signs tend to worry and think about finances.
Contemplating and things like that,
Yeah, yeah,
sitting
introvert.
in something.
Yeah, introverted, but the Aquarius can also help us think outside the box. It gives us creativity, a need for freedom, independence. Wanting to have fun, wanting to network, connect with friends. Aquarius rules friends and acquaintances and groups. So you might be more social. At the beginning of the week, and then the moon goes into Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign, so we're going to feel more sensitive and emotional. You may tear up a little easier if you watch
Is
a
that
show.
this week as well?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh, so
on
we from
Thursday.
Aquarius. Okay, when's
Yeah.
it go into Pisces? And that's the new moon.
That no, that's just the moon goes from Aquarius to Pisces, and then
Okay.
Aries. The moon will be in Aries this week as well, and then it quickly goes into Taurus on next Sunday, which is we call that the new moon in Taurus is next week.
Okay,
Next
so the new
next
moon's in Taurus. Gotcha.
And so this week's a good time before the new moon. It's all about manifesting and doing positive affirmations. So they always say the moon cycles affect us all. So, we talked about the full moon, how makes you feel more emotional, can kind of bring up things. It's a time to really reflect and just kind of sit back and let yourself feel. The new moon is a time for action. If you think about Aries energy, it's connected in astrology to the new moon because Aries is about newness and excitement. It rules the spring. It's the cardinal sign of spring. So the new moon is all about bringing new energy in, new ideas, new goals, new habits, new plans, newness. So it's a good time, to sit down and think this week. What do you want? What do you want to manifest? Is there anything, you want in your life, and manifestation is about asking and praying and, whatever you want to call prayer or asking the universe for what you want, but also believing and knowing that you deserve it and that you can have what you want.
Mm.
And it might involve, writing down a list of your goals. And I always say, it's good to break it apart like goal, purpose, activity. So what's your goal? Okay, what's the purpose of it? Why do you want it?
Mm.
And then what do you have to do to get it? Do you have to, you know, um, you know, save money? Do you need to be creative? Do you need to actually start journaling? What are your goal? What do you have to do to reach your goal? And then when you start doing that, you may realize I really don't want that. That's not really what I want. I want peace or I want happiness or, and those things are more subjective, right? Because it's easy to manifest physical things. Because when they happen, you're like, ooh, I wanted a new car.
You,
Oh,
you
wow,
have evidence for
I
it.
wanted a new job. Yeah. But when it's something that is very deep, like love or happiness or self-esteem, whatever it is you're really wanting to change about your life or your emotions, it just takes a little time, and you have to change your thoughts.
Mm.
You have to think and believe and think about what you want. So I always say, pick one or two things and write it on a little card. That's what I do. And just say, I'm thankful for abundant work. I'm thankful for a fulfilling, creative job. I'm thankful for a peaceful, healthy relationship, whatever it is. And you read it as if you have it. Then you visualize it happening. And then you let it go. It can only take 1 minute, 2 minutes to visualize. You don't want to spend hours, obsessing on it. You just real quick, 90 seconds, visualize it happening, let it go, and then go on with your day. And you can do this
Mm.
once a day in the morning, early morning, or at night before you go to bed is a good time. And that's something that you can do this week before the new moon on Sunday, and write down a few affirmations, a few goals of things you want.
Mm.
It's in
Yeah.
Taurus. It's in Taurus.
Yeah. Manifesting. So I mean, you and I have done a lot of work around manifesting. We've led a lot of groups together on the new moon manifesting, which we're pressing pause on, by the way, those of you. We're hitting pause because Carmen and I are writing a curriculum. So we paused our new moon manifesting for now, but that will all get relaunched down the road. So stay tuned for that. By the way, those of you listening to Deep Dive now, we do have an on-demand. So if you miss our show on Sundays, we are at 8:30 Pacific time. You can find us at Deep Dive with Carmen and Sherianna on YouTube, and that's where the replay will be. When we talk about manifesting, you mentioned, Carmen, that sometimes you manifest something like, oh, I thought I wanted that. Now I haven't. I really don't want that. And I think it's important I always say not to judge your attractions. You draw things into your life naturally, people, situations, circumstances, and you may think, oh, that's what I want. Then it comes a little bit closer in, and then you're like, maybe it's not what I want. Don't judge it. You didn't screw up. And I think people get really hard on themselves. They get frustrated, Carmen, I find, with the process. They feel like, I thought, why? And they almost feel like jaded. You know, I've been working so hard on this manifesting thing, and then, and then that, little breadcrumbs come along or something. And those are important moments where it is why emotional processing is such a part of this, that if you're judging something, you're impacting the manifesting. And so not to judge like this, don't make it mean something more than it is. And that gratitude piece, especially here we are on Easter Sunday, hopefully given some gratitude. This is a day about resurrection. This is a day about coming, life, rebirth, faith, family, hope. Right? Hope is about today. And let that inspire you.
Yeah, because it's like even though things are hard at times, the energy always shifts. It's not going to be, you're not going to be stuck in that same situation forever. But sometimes it feels like, when is this, going to shift or change? But it does. It just, you gotta feel what's going on. And it's kind of like, you gotta let the universe take care of the details.
It's so true. Yeah.
You just focus on the big picture thing that you're wanting your life to be like here. Yeah. And then let the universe, they'll take care of the details, and the universe will send you things, like she said, and you're like, well, no, I don't know if that's right. Okay. Whenever things come along, recognize it. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not meant to be for you at the time, but you'll see the universe sends you little nuggets and to try to, and it's up to you, if it's something you want to do. But don't worry about the details of how it's all going to happen.
Exactly.
Just get your main affirmation.
Overthinking thing.
Don't overthink.
Yeah. We do need to take a quick break. If you're just joining us on Deep Dive, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
Hi, this is Carmen Turner Schott, author and psychological astrologer. My newest books are Your Astrological Energy and Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon. Both offer powerful insights to help you understand your emotions and your spiritual journey through astrology. Discover how your birth chart can help you heal, transform, and become more resilient. Visit my website today at carmenturnershott.com and grab your copies on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and online stores.
Looking to transform your life? Sherianna Boyle, author of 11 powerful books, invites you to take a deep dive. Explore her emotional detox series, discover manifesting with energy in action, and connect with spirit in her latest book, Just Ask Spirit. Start your journey today. Find all her books at sheriannaboyle.com.
Welcome back to Deep Dive, giving you your astrology update. Carmen was just talking about what's going on this week, and we were just saying how this is a good week of getting ready to manifest. You and I just put the our new moon manifesting on hold, on pause. And I wanted to mention the power of the pause, because I do believe pauses have a place in manifesting.
Yeah.
And also recognizing when, if you got too much going on, Carmen, you and I were just talking about this. If things if you get too much on your plate, that can interfere.
Yeah.
With you. Now you're getting pulled a little bit here, a little bit there. And it's like fragments of you, being pulled. I want this, but I'm being pulled here, pulled there.
Yes.
It's like, what's left? And that's when you have to take a look at it. It's like, you're allowed to take a breather. Right?
Yeah. And sometimes you're like, oh crap, I manifested all this stuff. Wait a minute. Like, that's what happens to me. I'm like, whoa. I'm like,
you are a good manifester, I must say.
Too many little nuggets from the universe, these little bringing me all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, wait. And then you're tested. And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. What feel right in this moment? And you'll know you can change day to day, guys. It's okay. I mean, the moon changes every 2-3 days. Our emotions change every you may decide,
change your mind. You're allowed to change your mind.
There you go. You're allowed to change your mind. I always tell my husband that, because he gets so aggravated with me. He's like, but you just said you were going to do that. I'm like, yeah, I changed my mind. He doesn't change his mind. He's like, so like logical. Like, I'm like, but it doesn't feel right anymore. He's like, but you said this, or it's like, if I want to go to a restaurant, I'm like, I'm like, I changed my mind. Let's do Mexican. And he's like, what? I'm like, I thought we were getting this. I'm like, well, I'm kind of craving this. It's okay, wherever you want to go. And it drives him nuts. He's like, but you said you were, I said, I changed my mind. Like, it's
You're
okay.
allowed to change your mind. I know. What is that? Why do we think that we can't change our mind? What's going on there? I mean, there's got to be some stuckness if I dove into that one. What is it? Yeah, that we don't like to inconvenience people. It's like people just, it's like we're taught to just stay straight and narrow.
Yeah,
I think that's almost built into us a little bit.
Yeah, because you feel like, you want to be reliable, dependable. You want to be responsible. You don't want to let people down. And that's how I used to be like. But then now I'm like I really have to, like, I want my freedom and independence now. And like, I want autonomy, and I want to work for myself. And like, I know the things I want now. And when I start feeling like overwhelmed, that's when I know I've taken on too much. And even though it's things you wanted to manifest, like, it's all good things but then you have to pick and choose what's really going to get you to your final goal, like the big broad goal that you're looking at. Because these little things are good things. And then and it's like with me, I love to say yes to everything. So, because I'm excited about the newness. That's my Aries moon. And so, it's like, I love, this is cool, and I love that feeling. But then it's like, okay, wait. You have to commit, when you have to commit to these things, it may not be what you thought it was. Like, whoa, wait a minute, this is going to be expensive to do this. Like, I'm gonna have to pay all this money to take these classes. Like, what am I doing? Like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
And then you have to really weigh, okay, is it gonna help in the future?
And that's the part of manifesting, I think, that people don't talk about. They just talk about the woo-woo part of manifesting, they focus on what you want, things like that, which is important, not putting it down.
Sure.
But I think the other part is, you do have to take steps.
Yeah.
Like you said, so I manifested it, and it might require me to take a class or get credentialed or invest and take a risk. And that's all part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're the creator of your world. You're in charge of your thoughts, words, and actions. You're in charge of if you're going to make an effort and jump on something like that's what, happened to me when I was trying to manifest a new job, doing what I love to do. I had to leave my job of 25 years and I had to it was kind of a sacrifice. It was, to me, I was afraid. It's a fear of change. And usually it's that fear of losing something is what keeps us in something we're not content or happy in. We can be miserable in a situation, but we stay. And it's because of comfort or it's.
Now, let me do a little reality check with you. What is it? How does it feel now that you're on the other side of that, Carmen? Because you had a fear of losing something. Do you feel like you've lost something?
No, it's so much better. And I even said now to myself,
what did you gain?
why did I not do this sooner? Like I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't do this 2 years ago. But then I'm like, no, I guess the timing was not right then.
Mm.
It wasn't, because everything completely changed to
It
make.
wasn't aligned. It wasn't
Yeah,
aligned at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I could never go back. Like, it's only been 4 weeks, guys, since I left. And I'm like, I could never go back. Yeah. It's only been a month.
Wow.
But I'm already
You've moved on.
lighter. Yeah, I'm doing things I actually wanted to do in my affirmation, so it's like it's
Yeah.
connected to, teaching and helping people, but being able to work from home and have flexibility, those are the things that matter. The paycheck isn't always the most important thing. You got to, I want to be able to pay my
Well,
bills and stuff,
and being creative, allowed
yeah,
some creative mobility there.
yeah,
And so this is the week, folks, that we're encouraging you. We'll
yeah,
always remind you of that week where
yeah.
the new moon is coming on what day is it, Carmen, again?
It's going to be on the 27th of April, so next Sunday.
Okay,
And
so next Sunday we'll be chatting about this again, probably.
and you need to work on your affirmations this week, or just make a list of goals. If you don't want to call it affirmations, affirmations are just positive. You word something as if you already have it. That's what you want to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I'm thankful for creative, fulfilling, full-time work as an entrepreneur. I'm thankful
Yeah.
for health and wellness, and that I'm healthy, or if it's for your
And
kids.
some people, their affirmations, they want to meet someone, I'm so grateful and thankful that I have a, new person in my life, or so I found the person that, my person, or aligned, or
Yeah.
partner. And it doesn't have to be romance, but it could be just
Sure.
like a working relationship, friendships,
Sure.
things like that are happening. Yeah. So this is the week, folks, to kind of get those thoughts together. Any plans today, Carmen, for Easter?
Yeah, I'm just gonna relax here, with my family, and just I don't want to leave my house, pretty much, like I'm a
Yeah.
homebody more now that, I did remote work for 5 years, and now it's like I don't
Get used to
be
that.
at home. I'm used to have my routine, with my dog and my breakfast, my coffee, and then, next thing you know, it's like time to go to bed, because the day flies by when you're home, because it's
Yes.
crazy when you're going to the office. It's like, oh, it's only 9, like, and then you look, it's only 11, when you're,
Yes.
it's like, oh my gosh, it's 3 or 4 o'clock. I got to get dinner.
Right. Right.
It flies by when you're having fun. I guess that's what I'm having fun now. So it's flying by.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah. I just enjoy, grateful to have all my girls, with me,
that's good.
and watching them and having them home and laughing and catching up with each
Yeah,
other. I feel like
yeah,
life, we don't really catch up.
yeah,
You and I love our time together because we connect through our show here,
yeah,
and that we catch up. I get to hear what's going on in your life. You get to hear what's
sure,
going on in my life. And
sure.
so I hope people out there are enjoying Easter and today, if that's your celebration, but also to thinking about what you want to resurrect in your life. Right,
Mhm,
Carmen?
mhm.
What do you want? Maybe there was a time where you felt more free or balanced.
Yeah,
Like, you do forget, when you're out of balance for a long time. Like you said, I was working. I didn't realize
yeah,
you get desensitized,
yeah.
and you kind of resurrected yourself, Carmen.
Yeah, I did. It was a death and rebirth, for sure. I
Definitely.
felt like it was a grieving process, and it was so strange. Even people, I was going through the grieving process before I even went in
Yes,
to
you were.
resign, and
Yeah.
and my coworkers, they were telling me, like, they were shocked I was leaving, and so some of them said they were going through the grieving process, and they used the same terminology I was saying.
Yeah.
So it was like these phases of grief, like Kubler-Ross, like denial, bargaining. Maybe I, can do this.
Yes, you went
You
through
know,
every phase. I remember.
anger,
And I just was like,
sadness.
I kept saying to you, Carmen, I'm just worried about your health. Like, I
Yeah.
remember I kept saying, I'm just
Yes.
worried about your health. I'm just worried about your
Yeah.
health right now. I didn't like it. You were too stressed. Enough's enough when the stress levels are hitting high all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's the time to start to reevaluate. Maybe I need a rebirth in my life, right?
I
I'm gonna
wanted,
go.
I wanted
Yeah.
peace, and I
Yeah.
was in a job that was high stress, high tempo, crisis
Yeah.
intervention, trauma,
Yeah.
constant putting fires out is what I'd always joke. I'm putting
Yeah.
fires out.
Yeah.
That's what I did every day for 7 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, whoa, like I'm at peace. Like it's a different kind of stress because I took on too much stuff, but it's all fun stuff that I want to do. So
Yes. And you're
I'll
in
get to-
charge.
yeah,
You're
I'm in charge, and I can
You
say
are in charge.
I don't want to do it.
Wow. Wow. Time flies. Thank you so much. This was, goes by quick on our show, but thank you so much, everyone, for listening to another episode of Deep Dive. We'll be back next week on Sunday, the 27th. We go live, and then you can find the replays after the show airs live. Then during the week, it will be, you can go to our YouTube channel. Best thing is to subscribe there. Deep Dive with Carmen and Sherianna on YouTube. Happy Easter, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning into Deep Dive with Sherianna Boyle and Carmen Turner Schott. If today's episode inspired you, don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave us a review. For more insights and resources, visit carmenturnerschott.com and sheriannaboyle.com. Until next time, keep diving deep into your soul's journey.